We're seeing this massive shift happening in the professional world. It's seismic, really.
Absolutely. The speed is just unprecedented.
Right. How fast the workforce needs to adapt.
Mm.
New tech, new rules, totally new ways of working globally.
And certifications are key. We know that. They're like the currency for career survival today.
But the way we get them, I mean, long courses, expensive ones sometimes, and these static tests based on theory, they just feel out of sync.
They can't keep up. That knowledge gap, it's getting wider, not smaller.
Exactly. So today we're going to dive deep into one potential fix for this, the speed problem.
Okay.
It's the launch of EON Reality's Job Ready Professional Certifications track. It's part of their XR Library Premium.
Right.
We've looked at the source material, and we want to figure out if this new approach really delivers what people need now: speed, relevance, and actual, guaranteed skills.
Yeah, and if you want the core idea, the real innovation here, it's how they're deliberately mixing artificial intelligence AI with extended reality XR.
So augmented and virtual reality.
Exactly. They're not just putting textbooks online. They're using AI and XR together to really compress how knowledge gets transferred.
Compressing it.
Yeah, to deliver credentials that aim to directly bridge that gap. The one between just learning something in theory and being productive on day one of a job.
Okay, that makes sense as a concept. But why the big push right now? Our sources point to 4 specific kind of urgent global demands driving this. Let's maybe unpack those.
Good idea. Because it's not just about convenience, like you said. This is really being driven by global necessity.
Okay.
So the first one is pretty straightforward. Credential value.
Mm.
In these super competitive global markets, having the right certification isn't just nice to have anymore.
It's essential.
It's the key, really. It unlocks better salaries, better jobs, especially in critical sectors like, say, specialized IT, finance, healthcare areas with heavy regulation.
Right. No certificate, no interview sometimes.
Often, yeah. Then the second factor, and maybe the most pressing, is the urgency of reskilling. We're talking millions of people worldwide who need to pivot fast into completely new fields like advanced cybersecurity, cloud computing, data science.
And they can't wait a year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The traditional 6-month, 12-month retraining programs. The window of opportunity is just too small for many emerging roles.
And our sources also highlighted how work itself has changed structurally.
Which brings us neatly to point 3, hybrid work readiness. I mean, something like 70% of employers now support remote or hybrid roles. That's huge.
It is. But how do you check if someone's good at the skills needed for that? Like digital collaboration, staying compliant without someone watching over your shoulder, using tools like Teams or Zoom effectively.
Right. A multiple choice test isn't going to cut it for that. The old ways just aren't built to assess these modern work skills.
Makes sense.
And finally, there's the need for leadership pathways. Companies going through these huge digital shifts, they need certified leaders.
Not just managers, but leaders.
Leaders who can actually manage complex change, drive strategy, handle uncertainty, and are certified in the latest ways of thinking about organizational management.
Okay, so the argument from the sources is that XR, this immersive tech, is maybe the only scalable way to tackle this urgency. How does that stack up against, say, just better online courses?
It's the simulation piece.
Oh.
That's the core difference. Traditional online courses, even good ones, often rely on static stuff, videos, PDFs, quizzes.
Right, passive learning.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
EON's XR approach, according to the sources, tries to bypass that. It builds real-world simulation scenario-based tasks right into the learning process.
So you're not just reading about it.
You're doing it. You have to execute the task to solve the problem in a virtual setting.
Yeah.
The learning becomes the actual hands-on practice.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting for me, because it's not just one certification. They're offering 5 different tracks, and they cover a huge range from highly technical skills to, well, leadership.
Yeah, they've split them into hard and soft skills.
Let's start with the hard skills, the ones promising that quick transition. The first track is industry-specific certification pathways.
Right. This is for fields where the credential is non-negotiable, like a gatekeeper.
So, for example,
Well, instead of just reading about cloud computing, learners might be prepping for an AWS exam, that's the big Amazon one, or maybe a Cisco CCNA for networking.
okay.
But they do it by actually practicing in a live simulated environment.
Yeah.
Like you'd literally troubleshoot a virtual network error or manage a simulated cloud migration.
Hands-on, but virtual.
Exactly. And that ties into the second hard skill track, rapid career transition programs. This is where that speed promise really comes into focus.
The 60-day claim.
Yeah. focused, intensive 60-day reskilling programs
Mhm.
designed for people making a big career change, maybe workers displaced from other industries.
Okay, give me an example.
Imagine someone moving from, say, retail into IT support. Instead of a long course, they jump into virtual labs, practicing troubleshooting common hardware and software problems over and over until they've nailed it.
And the sources claim this massive time compression from months down to weeks is only possible because the learning is validated instantly through that immersive practice.
That's the core argument. Immediate feedback, practical application, accelerated mastery.
It sounds incredibly efficient.
Yeah, almost.
Too efficient. 60 days to job readiness. It does make you wonder, though, is there a risk of focusing so much on the technical doing that you miss out on the crucial interpersonal stuff, the strategic thinking?
That's a really fair question. And it seems EON anticipated it because the other half of their offering focuses entirely on those soft skill pathways,
Uh-oh.
which honestly might be the most insightful part of this whole launch.
Mm.
They're recognizing that technical chops alone aren't enough. You need the communication, the leadership.
So what are those pathways?
Well, the first soft skill one is executive and leadership development. This is about certifying leaders in really complex stuff like strategy execution, managing big organizational changes.
How do you simulate that?
The example they give is fascinating. Learners get put in charge of a simulated corporate turnaround.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're managing a virtual crisis, making tough decisions about restructuring, dealing with simulated unhappy staff, even presenting your plan to virtual investors.
Okay, I have to admit, leading a simulated turnaround sounds kind of terrifying, but also brilliant practice.
Exactly. High-stakes practice without the real-world risk of, actual bankruptcy if you mess up.
It validates your thinking under pressure in a way a multiple choice exam on management theory never could.
Precisely. Then there's remote work and digital collaboration. This tackles the hybrid work reality head-on.
Covering what?
Everything from staying compliant when you're working remotely to getting really good with digital tools. Learners practice things like running virtual team meetings, handling tricky cross-cultural communication issues in real time, managing time zones.
Refining those skills in a safe space.
Yes. And the last soft skill track is career advancement and salary negotiation. This is about teaching people how to articulate and maximize their professional value.
And the XR example for this one?
Simulated HR negotiation scenarios. Very practical.
Hold on, a simulated negotiation. Can that really replace arguing with a real HR person? Isn't there a risk of creating, like, false confidence?
Well, the sources argue the opposite, actually. They say the value's in the repetition. High-volume practice.
Okay.
You can run that simulation, say, 50 times, try different approaches, learn how to counter different salary tactics, all without any risk to your actual career. It's like building muscle memory, but for soft skills.
But the simulation provides the psychological safety net you need to really improve before the real meeting.
That seems to be the idea. So if you connect all these pieces, this XR approach looks to fundamentally shift the whole learning game. From that before state slow, theoretical, to an after state of rapid, validated mastery.
Let's break down those differences a bit more clearly, because it sounds like more than just swapping a book for a VR headset.
Oh, absolutely. Think about assessment. Before, paper tests, maybe online quizzes, static.
Right.
Now, it's immersive prep, driven by simulation, with constant hands-on evaluation baked in. And the learning type itself changes completely
Bump theory.
to practical, scenario-based mastery. Skills that are proven, validated in real time inside the XR environment.
And the time frame, we keep hitting this because it's such a huge claim. Cutting down those long retraining cycles, 6 months, a year, to maybe just 60 days for some career transitions.
It's a potential massive accelerator for individuals, economically speaking.
Certainly.
And finally, the delivery. Before, it was often one-size-fits-all, lectures maybe. Now, it's personalized. It's guided by AI.
How does AI guide it?
Well, the AI isn't just grading a final test. It's providing real-time feedback, performance analytics on basically every move you make in the simulation. It can see where you're weak and tailor the next steps just for you.
That personalization part gets back to the tech itself. When the sources talk about AI-verified skill mastery, what does that actually mean? How does an algorithm know if I've really mastered, say, leading that corporate turnaround?
That's really the key differentiator they're claiming. The AI verifies mastery by analyzing your decisions within the scenario.
Ow.
It tracks things like how quickly, Did you complete the task? How efficiently did you use simulated resources? Did you make errors? Did you follow the required procedures or compliance rules built into the simulation?
So it's not checking definitions.
No, it's checking if you successfully navigated the simulated crisis using the right strategies. The system gives automated feedback constantly, ensuring you reach and prove competency before you even sit for the actual credential exam.
Okay, so boiling this down for you, the listener,
Hmm.
what does this focus on speed and guaranteed competence mean practically? It seems like EON's approach offers maybe 4 big advantages for getting ahead quickly. First, that immersive certification prep. The learning modules are built specifically to match real-world exams. Second, the AI-verified skill mastery. That idea of guaranteed readiness before the test could mean higher pass rates, sure, but also real competence.
Makes sense.
Third, the career fast track. That promise of collapsing months of study into focused weeks is obviously huge.
And fourth, maybe global reach.
Mm.
By making these complex simulations accessible via XR tech, people everywhere, regardless of geography or maybe even economic background, could potentially access the same high standards of training. Could level the playing field a bit.
Yeah, potentially.
And that shift from just testing what you know to verifying what you can actually do. That seems to be the ultimate insight here.
Yeah.
Dan Lajerskar, EON Reality's chairman, is quoted saying the goal isn't just exam prep.
Right.
It's mastery of, quote, the scenarios they'll face on the job, making them truly career-ready from day one. The idea is that certification directly translates to value for an employer immediately.
So our core takeaway seems pretty clear. The future of professional certification looks like it's moving firmly into these AI-assisted virtual reality spaces. The value proposition is shifting away from just knowing the theory and focusing almost entirely on skills you can prove, you can apply practically, and learn quickly.
And it's worth remembering, EON Reality isn't new to this game. They're positioned as a world leader here, with something like 25 years of experience developing AI-assisted AR and VR for knowledge transfer.
So this isn't just popping up out of nowhere.
No, it feels more like their decades of work are now hitting this point of urgent global demand for faster, better reskilling. The timing seems right.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. If skill mastery can now be verified and dramatically sped up using simulation and AI feedback, how does that change things for employers? How will they define and trust entry-level experience in the future? If someone can demonstrate skill mastery proven in a tough, AI-monitored simulation completed in, say, 60 days, will that virtual proof soon carry more weight than maybe a traditional 6-month internship that might have been less structured?
That's a really interesting question for the future of hiring.
Definitely something to consider as you think about your own next career steps.